Welcome back to the Learn to Love You show. My name is Renita Hills. I am your host for the evening. And guess what? We're just going to jump right back in to safety planning. If you see my eyes tearing up a little bit, we just had a really, really super good laugh before the show. And we do that to help relax ourselves so that we can be professional, believe it or not, and speak intelligently about very, very serious topics. Tonight, we're going to continue our series on safety planning. And now we're going to talk about safety in your own residence. This is something we're going to talk about after you've gotten separated from your abuser. You're now in your own home. Measures you can take to be safe. One, you can change the locks on your doors and windows as soon as possible. I don't care if you just bought a home and you just got a new apartment, change those locks because we don't know who was there before you moved in that might know who you are leaving and who your abuser is. And they might share keys. Change your locks on the windows and the doors as soon as you move in. Secondly, you can replace wooden doors with steel and metal doors. This is something you would do if you're moving into a house. This is not something you would do in an apartment. If you're moving into a house, change the doors. And I'm not saying this is something that has to happen. You move in on Monday and you change everything on Tuesday. I'm not saying that. In time, you can build up to these things. Again, it's about safety. But we don't want you to go putting a whole lot of stuff into the house and then you don't have the money to keep your home. Build up to it. Safety and slowly build up to changing the locks and maybe putting in metal doors. Absolutely install a security system with, with security locks and with the window bars. I'm stuttering a little bit because I'm reading along, but work with me. You can get this page, and again, you can get the whole plan working with your local domestic violence network. If you don't want to get a whole bar and change the whole window, go old school. The end of a broomstick or a stick that you find, put it in the window to protect the windows from going up. If you have sliding doors, put it in the part that slides. That's to keep it from sliding back and forth. You can find ways to secure your house without spending a whole lot of money. Again, you're going to build on your security. I'm not asking you to change everything at once, but build on it to where you feel safe in your home. Install outside lighting. Let's back up a little bit. Something very inexpensive. And believe me, I'm not getting any money or any kickbacks from saying this. If you can't afford the ADT system or the Vivint system, go with the Ring. You can order it from Amazon for less than $200 and install it yourself. The thing I love about that particular alarm system is it's yours. And if you're moving from your one apartment and have to relocate to another, you can take the entire system with you. If you want to install it from your apartment and you move it into a house, you can install it to the house and then add more pieces for the windows in your house. And it only costs $100 a year to get it connected to the police department. With the other systems, it costs a little bit more. That is the least expensive way, but still a very good means to have an alarm system in your home. The Ring, and I ordered mine from Amazon. Install smoke detectors, and fire extinguishers for every floor in your home or in your apartment. I recommend smoke detectors in every room, not just the floor, but in every room in the apartment or in your house. Fire extinguishers, I have 2 in my kitchen. You never, in my opinion, you can't have too many of them. Okay. Um, Teach your children how to make a collect call, and who to make a collect call to. Now, that was not quite as pertinent because we all use cell phones now. That's when we had landlines and it costs to do things. Now you can just pick up the phone and you can just dial 911, or they can scroll to the person's name and number and call. But you do need to give them the passcode to open your phone. so that they can call if an emergency takes place. Um, know the people that you're going to let take care of your kids. Be very particular. Again, like we talked about the last episode, you need to be particular about them anyway. But limit the amount of people that can take care of your children. You don't want Mary Jane taking them on Monday, Jim Bob on Tuesday, Sally Sue on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, flip a coin and who gonna get them. I'm being a little bit extreme, but the point still remains. Be very particular and consistent on who your children are going to be with. That way, they're not thinking, oh, wait a minute. I don't know if it's Monday or Tuesday. And this might just be a new person that mom sent to pick me up. Oh, dad sent somebody from his job. If they're not, if the consistency is not there, then they can accept or believe that anybody can come pick them up at any given time, which decreases the safetiness of your children. And that is an important thing to think about. If nothing else, protect the babies. Now, that was for safety in your own residence. There are more steps. I don't want to give them all to you at one time because I don't want to overwhelm you. But we are going to talk about the protective order. In every city and state, you have a free legal system that you can go down to the courthouse and ask questions on filing a protective order. You want to be sure you do this accurately. You want to be sure that you're not just doing it online and not having the support of people who can tell you how to do it the right way. When you're doing your protective order, you don't want to just do it and say, okay, he can't come within my house, because you don't stay in your house all the time. You want to get the protection order to cover your house, your job, your children's school, and even your church. Places that you frequent, you want the protective order to cover those areas if your abuser knows about them. Now, the thing about the protective order, the person is going to get a copy of that order. So if I'm saying that I don't want John Doe to bother me at my house, they already know where I live. I don't want them to bother me at my job. They already know where I live. Where I work. Now, if I say I don't want them to bother me at Planet Fitness, but they don't even know I go to the gym, if I add that to the protective order, they now know they can't go to that gym, which means they know I go to the gym. You don't want to add places or locations on your protective order that the abuser may not even know about. Now, you want to include your church. We're going to have a segment on the church helping abused people while they're at the church later. But you do want to include your church. You want to include the community centers that you go to. Those are things that you want, that you frequent, you want to have on that list of places he cannot go. Because the chances are that person, the abuser, and I keep saying he, so forgive me, because abusers can be both male and female. So where that abuser might know where you are. You want to list all those places, but if they don't know about the place, don't list it, because when they're getting served, they're going to get a list of all the places that they cannot go with the addresses. So if he does not know you go to the Planet Fitness on Thursdays or whatever day, then you don't want to add that to the list until he finds out. Now, I do want to caution you. Do not, by any means, way, shape, form, or fashion, believe that the protective order is going to protect you. It will not. It's just a piece of paper. It's a legal document that will protect you in the court of law. But you have to keep those other steps we talked about in place to protect you physically. I want you to keep the original protective order. You keep that at home and keep a copy of it on your person at all times. The same way you keep your driver's license and your credit card on you, you keep your protective order on you as well. Because if that abuser shows up, for instance, at your job and they shouldn't be there, you can dial 911. When the police shows up, you can say, Here's my protective order. He's not supposed to be here. Here's my protective order. She's not supposed to be here. When they read that protective order, they'll know at that moment that that abuser broke the order, broke the court order, and they can possibly be arrested right away and on the spot. At the bare minimum, they will be escorted away from the property and given you an opportunity to get home safely. So keep a copy of the protective order on you at all times and the original at home. Excuse me. You have to inform your employer, your minister, your rabbi, your closest friends. All those people have to be informed that you have a protective order. Once again, we will talk about the church's responsibility and their duty and their job and their line when they find out that there's a protective order for you. We'll talk about that on a later show. But please let all these people know. Let your employer know, because if there's a way for them to stop them at the door, they can. There are things that are in place that protects you on your job. Even the job has to do their part. Your employer has to do their part to protect you. The church has to do their part. Your rabbi have to do their part to protect you. And we'll talk about what those pieces are at another show. If your partner destroys your protective order, yes, you can get another copy from the clerk's office. This is why I say keep the original home and in a safe place. That way, if they come up and you see the police and they snatch it from you and they tear it up, that's okay. You have the original at home, or you can just go to the courthouse and the clerk will give you another copy. If my partner violates the protective order, can I call the police and report the violation? Absolutely. Absolutely call the police. But document while you're calling. Document while they're there. If there's anybody around, see if they'll be willing to testify or to tell the police that they were there. That's why it's so important for you to tell your church and tell your employer, even tell the person you're renting from, that you have a protective order against this person. Those are pertinent people that need to know. It's not that you're putting it on Facebook saying, hey, y'all, keep them away from me because I got a protective order. No, these are pertinent and important people that need to know so that they can help you to protect you and your home and your children. With that being said, this is so great. I am really, really enjoying sharing this information with you. Do me a favor. If you are getting something out of this, please tell your friends about it. Like, subscribe, share. If you're not the person that's being abused, if you're not a person that needs this information off the top of your head, please share it, because you never know. The person that's sitting next to you in church might be going home to an abusive relationship. The person you're sitting next to at work that's laughing all the time and saying, let me buy y'all some lunch today. They're giving you the best giggles and chuckles, and they're always smiling. They're always in the best of moods. That person might be going home to an abusive relationship. The joy of their day might be work. That might be the only peaceful moment they have, and you don't even know it. Remember, 1 in 4 women are being abused right now. This episode has only been about, 15 minutes maybe? Right now, I'm going to say about 6 women are being abused in this last 15 minutes. 1 in 4. So the next time you get in a room and you're hanging out with your girls or you're at work, count around the room. Count 4 women. One of the 4 of you could be an abused person. 1 in 5 men are abused. Next time you have your family reunion, count 1, 2, 3, 4. Uncle Joe, Uncle John, Uncle Bob, Uncle Sam, Uncle Rufus. Oh, wow. One of y'all 5 might be going home to an abusive person. Aunt Sally, Aunt Mary, Aunt Sarah, Aunt Jane, one of the 4 of your aunts could be going home to an abusive person. That's something to think about. It might not be you. It could be your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your niece, your nephew, your best friend, your coworker, your road dog. They might be saying, man, come on, hang out just a little bit longer, because they don't want to go home to that person that's being abusive to them. So although this might not be benefiting you directly, please share it so someone you don't know can benefit from it. Yes, it is your responsibility. It is my responsibility. It's all of our responsibility to take our hands and put it to the plow and protect the person that's next to us, even though they might not know or want us to protect them. Share this information with somebody. Be the support that they need. Help them to help themselves. We're going to do another segment next week. We're going to talk about steps 5 and 6. I keep saying next week, next episode. Maybe it is going to be next week. Maybe God telling me to do this weekly instead of bi-weekly. Either way, on our next episode, we're going to be talking about steps 5 and 6. And I want you to join us again. Again, like, subscribe, share. Tell somebody about it. Until then, remember, beneath your skin and behind your eyes is a most beautiful, wonderful you. Learn to love you. Until next time, goodbye.